Hello everyone, and welcome back for some more Smoking Truth TV. As some of you already know, I am your host Nada, and we're on episode 23 today that I entitled The Da Vinci Code. Before we get started, I just wanted to say I have no idea why I started looking into this person. Some people would describe it as though I had some kind of a download or something along the lines of that description, or that I was guided to this information by something of the spiritual kind. All I can say is that my pineal gland was firing on all four cylinders with excitement while I was making all these connections, and I felt compelled to make a video on some of my findings. I also know there'll be some people out there who would think I'm just flat out nuts with what I have to say today, and that's cool. I mean, I get it. I was just like you once. Besides, we're all on our own journey in life, right? But if you do enjoy any of the information you hear today, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up and also subscribe. It would really help this channel start to grow, as YouTube doesn't seem to like any of my content. Of course, I understand the path is narrow and only few find it, but this is crazy. Anyway, with all that being said, let's get started. Leonardo da Vinci, or Leonardo da Vinci, was allegedly famous for his extensive knowledge in painting, sculpting, architecture, science, music, mathematics, engineering, literature, astronomy, geology, astronomy, botany, writing, history and cartography. He is also considered by some to be one of the most diversely talented individuals to have lived. Now, some of you may be wondering why I added the words allegedly and considered. Well, to answer that question, I would have to say this. When you start to independently research things for yourself with an unbiased approach, and then start to turn back the pages of his story of history that we have been presented with, we soon learn to find that most things that we believe to be true are indeed false, and the things that we have been educated on are also inaccurate. If you have the ability to critically think for yourselves, you will soon learn just how little people claim to know about the subjects they are trying to educate you on. I find it also surprising how little people understand when it comes down to the subject matter regarding who we are, where we came from, what is our purpose, and the mysteries of this realm we find ourselves living in. I don't know about yourselves, but these four topics are what drives me on a daily basis, and just like most things, the answers are always hidden in plain sight, and 9 times out of 10, they always seem to be tangled in a web of lies. And when it comes down to this character, Leonardo da Vinci, it can be quite the rabbit hole as you can imagine, so I'm just going to concentrate on the things that I have discovered and leave the rest for you to investigate for yourselves. And if you have seen any of my videos before, you will already know that it will be quite a unique explanation. As I just showed a few moments ago, there are 2 ways of spelling his name. We have the normal English way, as in Leonardo da Vinci, or in French and German, Leonardo da Vinci. Let's break down the name Leonardo first before we start to move forward. When we look at the name Leonardo, or Leonard, the translation shows that Leo is the word for lion, and the word nard, or nardo, means to be brave. Here is a short article of many that you will come across. Leonardo, origin German, meaning lion-hearted, brave as a lion. It continues to say, Leonardo is a masculine name of German origin, meaning lion-hearted or brave as a lion. It is derived from the Germanic name Leonard, with Leo translating to lion and Ard meaning brave, hardy or strong. Although originating in Germany, Leonardo is a popular spelling in Italy, Spain and Portugal, with Leonard being a well-loved variation in German. The phrase, Leo the Brave Lion, also comes from the star constellation known as Leo, and is also prominent in the zodiac wheel as we can see here. I also find it too much of a coincidence that Leonardo, aka Leo the Brave Lion, was also famous for his alleged work in astrology. But what kind of astrology was Leonardo studying? According to a few articles like this one we see here from iResearchNet, they claim that Da Vinci rejected the Earth-centered model of the universe. They go on to say, in his cosmic vision, Da Vinci rejected the Earth-centered model of the universe. Although he held to a fixed ceiling of stars, he did anticipate both the telescope and the universally claim of gravitation. I mean, yeah, it's no big secret that this man took this weird stance in the sense that he believed the world was a stationary spherical object with the fixed stars being encased in some kind of glass-type substance. I mean, after all, he did allegedly make this globe back in 1504, but if you ask me, this is way out of proportion as the size, shape and landmass to be even considered a near-perfect sphere. I thought this Da Vinci guy was meant to be really intelligent. Anyway, before we look at some of Da Vinci's paintings, quotes and the rest of his name, let me just show you what astronomy he is linked to. According to Wikipedia, astronomy studies everything that originates beyond Earth's atmosphere. Man, I hate that term. If anyone knows of a more suited word, please leave a comment. The ether tourist field, perhaps? Anyway, let's continue. Cosmology is a branch of astronomy that studies the universe as a whole. Astronomy is one of the oldest natural science. The early civilizations in recorded history made mathematical observations of the night sky. These include Egyptians, Babylonians, Greeks, Indians, Chinese, Maya, and many ancient indigenous people of America. Let's just take a few moments and check out some of the oldest natural science of early civilization and see what they had come to understand regarding the shape of the Earth. As we can see from this collage, we have the Egyptians, Norse, Hindu, Maya, Inca, Navajo and Hebrew, all depicting the Earth as a flat plane disc with a dome or arched ceiling above, showing us the stars are fixed in this structure. Looking at all these old paintings reminds me a lot of the gyroscope, and if your third eye is open you will see what it is I'm talking about. These things have the flat Earth written all over it, as we can see here. Flat plane disc, centre north point, exterior dome type ceiling with the pole star Polaris at the top. Just check out the Hebrew cosmology and you will see the same thing. Even Disney adopted this concept. Now you may be wondering why I'm bringing all this up. What's this got to do with Leonardo da Vinci? Well, let me show you what else I have found. Let's kick this next bit off with one of his speeches. There are three classes of people: those who see when they are shown, those who do not see. Now when we look at Leonardo's painting of the universe, why does it look the same as what we have just been talking about? Granted, he has put the sun in the centre and everything is going around it, but I'm talking about the circle within the circle, the gyroscope, or the three-body problem so to speak, as in the exterior, interior and the level field. Here is another painting. It is easy to spot the 6 and 9 symbol, as in the yin and the yang, as in the sun and the moon. Or this diagram of the universe. I don't know about yourselves, but to me this looks like an early diagram of the famous Tesla coil or Van de Graaff generator. If you go looking into Leonardo da Vinci, you will soon discover that these patterns are all embedded in his artwork. But you don't need me to tell you that. Let's see for ourselves what Leonardo had to say about his artwork and being creative. Whatever you do in life, if you want to be creative and intelligent and develop your brain, you must do everything with the awareness that everything in some way connects to everything else. So bearing that in mind, let's see what cosmology this Leo the Brave, Taurus, Pisces, Sagittarius water monkey mastered in. We already know that the name Leonardo, or Leonard, translates to Leo the Brave Lion. But what about Da Vinci or Di Vinci? According to many articles like this one, the word da is a slang translation for the word the, T-H-E. If we now use the French and German spelling of his name, as in Di Vinci, we find it is an anagram of two words, and them two words just so happens to translate into in Vedic. By translating the whole name Leonardo da Vinci or Leonard da Vinci, it reveals the phrase Leo the Brave Lion in Vedic, and as I've shown many times before in my previous videos, this points towards the Hindu Vedic cosmology. Once zoomed into the centre of the universe, you can see the same patterns as in Leonardo's paintings and diagrams. Here, let me show you a collage I put together when I was working all this out. The top line of this collage is Leonardo's work, and the line below is the Vedic Hindu cosmology and the flat earth. I'm pretty sure it's fair to assume that Leonardo wasn't confused about his reality. Well, that's if this person even existed in the first place. We're told his name is Leonardo da Vinci. We're filled with the narrative of ball earth theory. We're told he studied early civilization cosmology and astronomy. Just those two subjects alone both contradict each other, and to top it all off, his whole name translates to Leo the Brave Lion in Vedic. I mean, you tell me, is this guy entirely fictional? Partly true with mixed in lies? Or are we led to assume that he left clues behind and was playing it dumb with some of the things he said and done? I would be interested in hearing your thoughts in the comments below. Anyway, let's get back to the video. As I was saying earlier, when people hear the word Leo, they automatically think of the brave lion in the zodiac wheel. But if you studied ancient Hindu, you will soon stumble across this guy. This is the Hindu god, half man, half lion, called Narasimha. The main thing I noticed when looking at this deity was all the serpent heads coming out over his head, just like the ancient Egyptian pharaohs did. But getting back to Narasimha. It says here, Narasimha, man, lion, avatar of Vishnu. It continues to say, Narasimha, sometimes rendered Narasingha, is the fourth avatar of the Hindu god Vishnu. He is believed, or should I say beguiled, to have carnated in the form of a part lion, part man. It's up to you which way you want to interpretate it, but to me, when it comes down to religion or ancient documents, they all seem to be talking allegorically. The problem is, people base their ideas off these constructs, and with the lack of understanding, it then results them into glorifying some kind of idol. Let me just ask you this. Who is the most famous person in his story for disliking religion? Jesus. It's also interesting that the word Jesus gives us the phrase, yes, us. Because, yes, you are powerful, and the reason for hiding that is because you are connected to the same energy that created you, and you too give off a torus field, just like the Earth realm does. Now I use the word realm because all evidence shows that we live inside the centre of the universe, or torus field. It says here, a torus with a universe inside. The rotation frequency is a zillion times faster than the speed of light. It makes our local reckon time on Earth irrelevant, as the past, present and future can all be scaled to become as the now. It says here at the bottom, countless amounts of smaller toruses are inside the universe, all connected to the source, known as the One. Some people also speculate that we live in between two shards, or prism, within this torus field. But I feel myself going off topic now, and this subject is probably best left for a future video, as there's so much to unpack, as you can probably tell. So let's get back to the Lion King, aka Leonardo da Vinci. I mentioned earlier about a three-body problem. This had me thinking about people's claims regarding the shape of the Earth. But first, let's read another quote from Leo. If you find from your own experience that something is a fact and it contradicts what some authority has written down, then you must abandon that authority and base your reasoning on your own findings. There are many people in this world who believe we live inside a concave Earth, aka the hollow Earth theory. The most popular myth is that we live on top of the exterior of a spinning water ball in the vacuum of space. But once you apply their measurements for this theory, you quickly learn the Earth we live on sits at rest on a static level plane. Do you see why I call it a three-body problem? Because as I've already shown you, the Earth we live on looks more like this. But before we move on, let's read one more quote from Leo the Brave Lion. Whatever you do in life, if you want to be creative and intelligent and develop your brain, you must do everything with the awareness that everything in some way connects to everything else. So with that in mind, we're going to take Leo's advice and be creative and try and make some connections. This is what's called a plasma ball, or another way to describe it would be a Tesla coil inside of a glass bubble. and if your third eye is open, you will already know what it is I'm about to show you. But for those who are new to these subjects, I will try my best to keep it simple. Starting with the top of this picture, we can see that the glass exterior is representing the vortex torus field. With inside the vortex we have the heart of the Earth, or what's known as the North Centre Energy Point, with the static plane, aka the living world, circled around it. Many people speculate what's under the static plane, but with everything I and many others have researched, it seems it's very possible that there are several alternative or parallel universes that are stacked below us. Just like we see here with the Vedic Hindu cosmology, with the alternative parallel universes above us and also below us. One more thing I'd like to add regarding the plasma ball. When you place your hand on top of the exterior, it makes electrical connection. Just like we see here in the Michelangelo's painting with the L god making a connection to man. Now I was going to wrap this video up here, but couldn't end it without talking about Leo the Brave's painting of the Mona Lisa. But before I do, let me just show you what led me to talk about it and why it's so important to do so. So from the same article that we read from earlier, it also had this to say. He also recognised the similarities amongst humans, apes and monkeys. He even speculated on the process of erosion, sedimentation and fossilisation or mineralisation. So basically, according to this article, they want you to believe that Leonardo suggests that human life forms come from water and rocks and over 1 million years formed into tadpoles, into monkeys that then evolved into sophisticated monkey men. I'm sorry, but that hogwash doesn't fly with me, and even if it was true that Leonardo said these things, that nobody can prove anyway, why was Leonardo studying this image? This is what's called the spiral of life. Here's a quick quote from Barry H. Gillespie. The path isn't a straight line, it's a spiral. You continually come back to the things you thought you understood and see deeper truths. Another title for this symbol is called the Fibonacci sequence. This last piece of information I'm about to share with you is the thorn in Leo's paw, and it's so much of a coincidence you couldn't make it up if you tried. It seems that the Fibonacci sequence was discovered by no other than Leonardo Pizzano Fibonacci. I mean, that's got to be some kind of coincidence having the same name, wouldn't you agree? Well, it gets better. Listen to this. Leonardo Pizzano Fibonacci, 1170 to 1250, was an Italian mathematician who is known for discovering the self-named Fibonacci sequence, when presented with a problem and spreading the Hindu Arabic number system through his book. And like it says here, Fibonacci is credited for ancient Hindu discoveries. And as we can see here, Leonardo was using Leonardo's ancient Hindu discoveries to create his painting of the Mona Lisa. Well, that's if Leo the Brave Lion in Vedic was actually real. I mean, at this point you have to ask yourselves, WTF? As in what the fiction? Anyway, that's all I have time for today. My apologies if I lost some of you in places. It's a big difference trying to work this stuff out for yourselves compared to trying to explain it to somebody else. And we didn't even get to the middle of his name, or his family tree. I'm sure there is more to unveil regarding this character, but I wanted to keep it simple for all to follow. But it does seem tricky at times, especially when there are things that I'm also trying to polish up on myself. But if you did enjoy today's show, please hit the thumbs up button and also don't forget to subscribe for future content. As always, please don't take what I say and run with it. No man is perfect and no one man can hold all the truth. All we can do is learn off each other and try to put the pieces back together each day. As for me, I'm going to continue to walk my path to my destination and unveil whatever I can along the way. So until next time, take care out there, brothers and sisters, and I'll speak to you all again soon for some more Smoking Truth TV.